Welcome to Leaning In with Anne. I'm Anne Ferguson, and I am an author. Today, I feel like an infant because I don't know all that I'm doing. I feel grateful for you. I'm an ADDer, and I'm going to state that with absolute pride. I'm an ADDer. My mind grabs on to about 7 thoughts per 2 seconds. And when harnessing that power, I can do awesome, crazy things. But today I woke up with the power not harnessed. And so I'm a little discombobulated today. Isn't that the best word ever? Distracted, disconnected, not quite all put together. That is absolutely 100% what I feel today. But I am going to share with you whatever comes into my mind. So if you can't stand when ADDers just sit and talk and they just ramble, today's podcast or today's broadcast is probably not for you. All right. So I want to show you what this is because there may be some of you who are wondering what in the world I've got around my neck. This is called a HAPBee. It is a device that helps my ADD. It helps me just really zero in and focus. And it absolutely got me from wandering all over the house this morning, chasing one idea after another. And I'm not talking like brilliant ideas about how to accomplish this. It's like, oh, I should go get my lemon water. You know what? I need to get my makeup. I need to do this. I need to do that. And literally bouncing all around. I'm going to explain why that happens in just a second. But this is called the HAPBee. HAPBEE. What this does is it has electromagnetic frequencies that it sends, and my brain picks up on it, and for whatever reason, it freaking works. And I can get concentrated and focused, and I can get things done. So let me explain to you what happens in an ADD brain, at least mine. I want you to picture a whiteboard. Great big old whiteboard. And then this brilliant thought comes, and you write the thought down on the whiteboard. And then that's what you're thinking about. That's where you're going towards. And then squirrel, something will happen, catch your eye. You look over there, and all of a sudden, there's a whole new thought. And it can be a great thought. And you go, oh, shoot, what was I thinking before? And the first thought is literally wiped off the whiteboard. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And so you end up chasing after the second thought until a third thought comes in, and then you chase after that. This is why ADDers chase. 2 things. 1, because they know subconsciously, consciously, I don't know if there's awareness, but some awareness, we know that we only have a minute minute to chase down that thought and to get something done with it before another one comes in. It's kind of like being on a tennis court and having, that ball launcher come at you. You have to hit this ball and that ball and this ball and that ball. And so you're doing this thing all the time. Now, what this does, I don't totally understand the technology behind it, but it helps everything stay on the whiteboard. It's crazy. So like just now, I'm talking to you and I decided to go, oh, thought over here. I saw over here the gimbal that I usually use for when I walk and talk. And a thought started to form about that. And I went, no, I'm talking about the HAPBee. So I was able to come back to it. Now, for those of you who do not have ADD, this may not make any sense to you. For those of us who do, it makes perfect sense. The other thing that happens is that our short-term memory, that's that whiteboard thing that went off. When an ADDer says to you, I don't know, I don't remember, they're actually really, really, really being serious that they don't remember. Now, those of you who are not ADD, who have ADDers that are within your life and your scope and the things that you do, I want to give you a secret. We understand that we're annoying at times. We also understand that it might be frustrating for you to try to follow our thoughts or the way we jump from thing to thing. What we have been taught, tears are coming. What we have been taught because of the name ADD is that it is a deficit disorder. And I want to really be clear. I do not have a deficit. I have a different cognitive style. But when other people believe that it's a deficit, they can treat me like I have a deficit. There was a study that was done a while ago. I want to say I read this probably 15 years ago, where they took two groups of people, those who were neurotypical, if you will, those who are linear thinkers that can go this thing and that thing and that thing. It's like the whiteboard lines up and they can look at all the things and they can just, this is how it plans out. And then their brain can remember and they just go like this. Those are linear thinkers. In an ADD brain, we circle. This thought comes, that thought comes, this thought comes, that one comes, and I end up circling back to the original thought. My brain goes around in circles. And because of that, it feels like everything is actually whole. Everything is going on. Everything's connected. It sounds to most people who are linear that it's not connected. In my brain, 100% connected. Eventually, I know I'm going to circle back to that. Well, in this study that they did, they separated out the two groups, linear thinkers and ADDers, I don't know what else to call. And they gave them an exercise. This was the exercise. We want you to make something out of nothing. You have 3 hours. And the facilitators of the workshop left. And the ADDers, they hunker down, they get together. Okay, anybody got any ideas? Anybody got any resources? And they just start like heyday time in their creation mode. Like it was so much fun. The linear thinkers are like, wait a minute. What's the rule? What are we doing? We're creating what? And where are we getting the resources? And what? And they literally didn't know how to sit in that creative mode. And what was interesting is that they ended up acting like ADD kids in school. They got frustrated. They got irritated. I cannot remember the study, all the things, but the things that ADD kids experience when they're in school, when they're disruptive or they're upset or they're whatever, that was happening. And the reason why is because it was not the right environment for that cognitive style. I have created my life so that I sit in my genius. I can flow throughout my day. I tried to be an employee. It doesn't work very well at all. I need too much freedom. The other thing about my ADD is that my motivation changes from day to day. My energy changes not only from day to day, but throughout the day. And so what I love about this is it helps me have the sustained energy that I need to complete something. Let me explain. When an ADDer is not interested at all in what the task is, the energy it takes to sustain focus in that particular thing is insane. Like the mental energy is way more than people understand. And so we get tired very easily. And then I can't, I've got to disconnect. So if you have somebody like that in your world, bounce with them, because you will find that the bouncing can be really exciting. It can be really fun. For whatever reason, today is about ADD. It's about my cognitive style and what I do with it. Now, I will tell you, my good husband, he is linear. He is an engineer. Like he can go from point A to point B and hit all of the points in between. It is super fantastic. I, on the other hand, go A, B, C, D, what comes after Z? And I miss the things in between. What does that do? That gives me the ability to see the vision on the backside. And working with my engineer husband, he can see all the details to get it done. That is a perfect match, as long as we're not irritated with each other. Okay, so you've heard me say this before, and I'm going to say it again, and that is one of the best ways to hang on to a relationship is to understand the principle of not wrong, just different. Not wrong. The way my brain works is not wrong. It is different. And the way he wants to get down into all the details is not wrong. It's just different. My memory is a source of frustration, for sure. And it used to be that Tom used to feel like I was disrespectful and that I didn't care and I was uninterested in the things that he was interested in. And that I put everybody else first and that I didn't care. Like he would ask me to do something and I would forget to do it. And so the interpretation, the perspective of that was, I didn't care. Over the years, he has come to see and understand the frustration. I want you to hear this, the frustration. When one of those details slips, the promise that was made and then it doesn't come through and people not being able to count on you, makes ADDers stop promising and stop feeling like they can show up because they know that you may not be able to count on them. Let me tell you, if those of you who are living with someone who is ADD, one of the best things that you can do is support them in memory without any judgment. So when Tom has asked me to do something now, and he knows that it's an important thing to do, he will text me without any snark. Hey, just reminding you. And then he'll ask me, hey, did you get that done? My kids learned that they needed to be the squeaky wheel. And if something needs to be done, I actually really, really, really appreciate when somebody does that for me. When somebody goes, like Post-it notes. Hey, Mom, don't forget. Hey, Mom, I need. You know where the best place to put a Post-it note is? On the steering wheel of a busy mom's car. Just stick it on the steering wheel. Hey, don't forget the lunch money. Now, some people feel like, okay, but you're an adult. I mean, I shouldn't be having to tell you things all the time. That is correct. You shouldn't have to, but it's really supportive to do. Your brain may work where you can keep all of those things on the whiteboard. It doesn't mean that I am not an adult. It means that I have a cognitive style that doesn't operate in the world the way the world operates. I think about what would it have been like years and years and years ago when we woke up with the sun, where there were routines, we got things done. We had to eat, we washed clothes, we did things, we talked, we flowed throughout the day, but we didn't have so many things on our plate for the day that nothing was actually missed because we were taking care of eating, nurturing each other, bringing home the food, growing the food, like it was all about survival. Now it's not. Now it's about innovation. And there's all of these steps and all of these things. It's in some ways very, very conducive to the engineer brain, right? And yet, if the engineer brain doesn't have the ADD brain to see the vision and all the things that possible, then nothing gets done. We have to learn to work together. I sometimes wish I lived back in the day where my fluidity was appreciated in a different way. No judgment if you are supporting somebody with ADD. Find out what their brain does and why. Those of you who are women, there was a book that I read a long time ago about ADD in women. I'm going to see if I can find that and post it on my resources page. At the website, joyfulheartmentoring.com. Go to resources, because on that, I have all sorts of resources for everything that I talk about. I will find that book and we will get that on there. So it was about women in ADD and how it shows up completely different than what it does in men. It was fascinating and so helpful to me to be able to accept exactly who I am. If I wait for other people to accept me, it doesn't happen. I have to say, this is who I am. This is how I operate. This is how I feel. This is what I need. And I can stand in my power and in my genius without apology. I see a lot of ADD people sitting in apology. Be nice, be kind, explore, and find out how people think, and then believe them and support them. Don't try to make them be what you are. Just support them in who they are. That's it. Okay, bye.